Sir, very happy morning to all.
Happy morning, sir.
So today we are going to start a beautiful topic called as equalization levy, which is a part and parcel of action plan, BEPS action plan number 1. Equalization levy is the discussion. Equalization levy is applicable for specified services at the rate of 6%. Specified services at the rate of 6%. E-commerce supply or services at the rate of 2%. So, for two transaction, equalization levy will be applicable. For specified services at the rate of 6%, e-commerce supply or services at the rate of 2%. Specified services at the rate of 6%. E-commerce supply or services at the rate of 2%. I'll be talking more about this. We should have a perfect understanding, 1000% clarity in the equalization levy. What is equalization levy is the discussion. Equalization levy means the tax leviable on consideration received or receivable for any specified service or e-commerce supply or services. Up equalization levy ரெண்டு விஷயத்துக்கு தான் அப்ளை ஆகும். Number 1, sir, specified services க்கு. Number 2, e-commerce supply of services. Up equalization levy will be applicable to specified services. Number 2, e-commerce supply of services. Charge on equalization levy on என்ன services? This is as per section 165 of the Finance Act. 165. Equalization levy at the rate of 6% is leviable on the amount of consideration for specified service received or receivable by a person being a non-resident. That means a non-resident is situated outside India. He is providing a specified service to a resident who are situated in India. That means this is our world map. So this is outside India and this is India. A non-resident who are situated outside India is providing a specified services to a person who are situated in India for, sir, this consideration is paid by the resident person who are situated in India. So equalization levy at the rate of is leviable on the amount of consideration for any services received or receivable by a person being a resident, non-resident, from a person resident in India and carrying on business or profession. யாரு பே பண்றானா a person who are resident in India who are carrying business or a non-resident having a permanent establishment in India. Permanent? That means this is a discussion, my dear lovable students. Equalization levy. Equalization levy is applicable only for two things. Number 1, specified services, e-commerce supply of services. Fine. Sir, one person should be situated outside India, that is NRSIN, is providing any services, specified services. For that is getting consideration either from the resident of India who are doing business or profession in India, or the second one, who's non-resident, who's having a permanent establishment in India. If this is the category, this is the case, then the person who are paying the consideration should deduct equalization levy. So equalization levy at the rate of 6% is leviable on the amount of consideration for specified services received or receivable by a person being a resident from a person a resident in India and carrying on business or profession, or a non-resident having permanent establishment in India. Equalization levy is not chargeable. Equalization levy naanga charge panna maatom. That means till now we talked about applicability of equalization levy. Now I am going to talk about non-applicability of equalization levy. So this is applicability and this is what? The non-resident providing the specified service having a dash in India and the specified service is effectively connected with such a permanent establishment. So I am a non-resident who are situated outside India. Hello sir. I am a non-resident situated outside India, and my dear lovable students, I am having a permanent establishment in India. Through that permanent establishment only I have provided the specified services. The aggregate amount of consideration for any services received or receivable in a previous year by the non-resident from the person in India and carrying on business or profession or from a non-resident having P in India does not exceed. So at least the consideration should exceed 1 lakh to apply the equalization levy. Where the payment for specified service by the person NI in India or PE in India is not for the purpose of carrying out of business or profession. If it is for personal purpose, you are paying some consideration. For that, my dear lovable students, நீங்க என்ன தேவையில்லைனா equalization levy பிடிக்க வேண்டியது. So, I'll be writing the equalization levy like this. Equalization levy topic classified into 2 categories. Number 1, applicability and non-applicability. Applicability and non-applicability. Sir, applicability means எதுக்கெல்லாம் equalization levy பிடிக்கணும். That can be classified into 2 categories, which is section 165 and section 165A. There are 2 sections we are talking, 165 and what 165 is saying that if a non-resident who are situated outside India is providing specified service to a person who are in India, that is 2 people, hello sir, to a specified person who are in India, the specified person are who should be a resident in India who are engaged in the number 2, non-resident having a permanent establishment in India, then they are liable to deduct equalization levy at the rate of 6%. But this will not be applicable in 3 circumstances. 3 circumstances la equalization levy pudikka vendiya. Number 1, sir, if the non-resident is having a permanent establishment in India and the service, that is specified service, has been provided through the permanent establishment in India. Hello sir. அப்ப அந்த non-resident இந்தியால என்ன இருக்கு? Permanent establishment. அந்த permanent establishment வழியா தான் என்ன ப்ரொவைட் பண்றாங்க? Then this will not amount to digital economy. Are you all really with me? Sir, the action plan, BEPS action plan number 1 itself is in economy. That means, sir, I am a non-resident who are situated outside India. They are providing advertisement services to a person who are situated in India. To provide that advertisement services, an advertisement company need not have a permanent establishment in India. Australia irundhe India irukra ortharukku enna provide pannalam. So for that, equalization levy is liable to be deducted, provide the consideration, my dear lovable students, is more than 1 lakh. And it should be for the purpose of business or profession. It should be for the purpose of whatever services, specified services you have enjoyed should be for the purpose of business or profession. So we are talking about equalization levy. It's a beautiful topic, man. Sir, this not for the purpose of business or profession means நம்ம equalization levy பிடிக்க வேண்டிய okay, அது வந்து business or profession கா இருந்தா equalization levy பிடிக்கணும். Equalization levy classified into actually 2 categories, section 165 and section 165A. 2 types of equalization levy they are talking. In that, now I am talking about 165. I'll come to 165A later. What 165 is saying that if the non-resident is situated outside India, if they are providing specified services to a specified person who are situated in India, then the specified person who are situated in India is liable to deduct equalization levy at the rate of 6%. So we can make it like that. The applicability, we can make 165A separate chart. Applicability equalization levy 165. Correct? So non-resident is situated outside India who are providing specified services to a specified person who are located in India, then the specified person who are located in India is liable to deduct equalization levy at the rate of 6%. Correct? So there should be a non-resident who are situated. Such non-resident should provide specified services to a specified person who are situated in India, then the specified person who are in India is liable to deduct equalization levy at the rate of 6%. Now question arises, who are the specified person who are located in India? Correct? The specified person who are located in India means, number 1, a resident person who are engaged in business or profession, plus sir, non-resident who are having a permanent establishment in India. Right? These 2 guys is liable to deduct equalization levy. It is same like TDS, there is no doubt about it. TDS you can take credit, equalization levy you can't take the credit. That is the difference. TDS வந்து உனக்கு என்ன எடுத்துக்கலாம், credit எடுத்துக்கலாம். And equalization levy is a final tax. அதுக்கு மேல உன்னால என்ன எடுக்க முடியாது. That is the only difference. So tell me, equalization levy we are classifying into two categories, applicability and applicability. We are now talking about section 165, right? Non-applicability is also there. Applicability, sir, this section is applicable where there is a person who is a non-resident who are situated, who provided specified services to a specified person who are in India. Then the specified person in India is liable to deduct equalization levy at the rate of. Question arises, who is a specified person? Specified person means a resident person who are carrying on business or profession in India, and a non-resident who is having a permanent establishment in India. Sir, in three circumstances, equalization levy will not be applicable. Number one, that non-resident is having a permanent establishment in India, and through that permanent establishment is providing the specified services. Number two, the consideration is more than 1 lakh. Number three, it is the amount paid as not for business or profession. That means it is for any purpose personal. I'm moving into the second type of equalization levy, chargeability of equalization levy on e-commerce supply or ANM services. Equalization levy at the rate of will be chargeable on the amount of consideration received or receivable by a ANM operator from ANM supply or service made or provided or facilitated by it to a person ANM in India, to a non-resident in the specified circumstance as ANM below, or to a person who buys such goods or service or both using IP address located in what? India. That means, sir, I am a Amazon, I am a Jambulingam, I am a Flipkart, like that e-commerce operator I am. So through this e-commerce operator, you are transacting transactions in India. I don't have a permanent establishment in India. In order to have an Amazon, is there any need that you are having a building in India? No, sir. That means you are not having a permanent establishment in India. Correct? Yes, sir. Right. But through this Amazon, you are buying and selling goods. You are buying and that means that non-resident is earning income from India. For that is liable to pay tax in India. What government is saying that? What department is saying that? 165A, charge of ANM levy on e-commerce supply of what or what? Supply of e-commerce supply. Sir, equalization levy at the rate of 8%. இதுக்கு 6% தேவையில்லை. Specified servicesக்கு இதுக்கு would be chargeable on the amount of consideration received or received by a யாரு? From a என்ன supply or service made or provided or facilitated by to a person என்ன in India or to a non-resident in the specified circumstance as என்ன below, to a person who buys such goods or service or both using IP address located in. Sir, an IP, internet protocol address, is a unique identifier assigned to devices connected to a what? Such as internet. IP address can be associated with specific geographical location including in a country, different countries. Sir, my dear lovable students, this is the applicability of 165A. This is the we are having non-applicability of NA 165A. The equalization levy shall not be charged where the ANM operator making or providing or facilitating e-commerce supply or services has a dash in India. The same, sir, e-commerce operator ke enna irukku? India la permanent establishment irukku, and such e-commerce supply or service is effectively connected with such what? PE. Where the equalization levy is leviable under section N65. அப்போ 165 apply ஆவறதா இருந்தா 165A apply ஆக வேண்டிய sales turnover or gross receipts as the NM of the e-commerce operator from the e-commerce supply or service made or provided to facilitate as referred in point number 1 is less than எத்தனை crore during the previous year. That means, my dear lovable students, sir, மொத்தமான e-commerce operator வழியா விக்கிறேன் இல்லையா, அதோட turnover எவ்வளவு crores இல்ல, அப்படினா 2% நீ பிடிக்க வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்ல. அப்போ we are talking about 165A. 165A ல applicability இருக்கு. Okay, right. 165 க்கு applicability இருக்கு. 165 is applicable to specified services. 165 is applicable to what and all specified services we have not என்ன சார் இன்னும் பார்க்கல இல்லையா. 165 is classified into how many category? Two category. Number one, what? 165. 165. In order to levy equalization levy, hello sir, 5 conditions should be satisfied. How many condition? Because it is 165. How many condition? Number one, sir, yarkna there should be a person who are non-resident. Non-resident. They should provide dash services. Specified service. Our provide பண்றது என்னவா இருக்கணும்? Specified. To specified person. To we are having a specific definition for specified person. Correct? To a specified person. Correct? Who are located in India. அவர் எங்க இருக்கணும்னா taxable territory இந்தியால இருக்கணும். Correct? Then the specified person who are located in India is liable to equalization levy at the rate of 6%. At the rate of 6%. Okay, right. About the core ways, number one, there should be a non-resident. Non-resident should provide specified services to a person, to a specified person who are situated in India. Then the specified person is liable to deduct equalization levy at the rate of 6%. Right. But this is not applicable in, sir, equalization levy. Another? It's not applicable in 3 circumstances. Equalization levy 3 circumstances enna avadu. Appo 5 condition, A 5 condition 165 adnala 5 condition. Enna levy? Apply avadu. Number 1, sir, that non-resident is having a permanent establishment in India and through that permanent establishment is providing the specified services. Right? Yes, number 2, that payment is not for business or profession. That payment is not for business or profession. Number 3, condition that consideration has not exceeded 1 lakh. Consideration has not exceeded 1 lakh. That means these are the inapplicability, non-applicability. That means that non-resident is having a permanent establishment in India and is supplying the specified services through that permanent establishment. Right? So then the enna avaduna equalization levy apply avadu. Number 2, it is not for business or profession. Third one, consideration has not exceeded 1 lakh. If this 3 circumstances விழுந்துச்சுனா equalization levy பிடிக்க வேண்டிய. That means I am consolidating. Sir, chapter equalization levy class 1 2 category. Section 165, section 165A. Section 165 again put it on our mark and write enna specified services. 165A is for e-commerce supply and services. E-commerce supply means goods, service means services. Hello sir. Yes, sir. Alright sir. Sir, what is section 165? Section 165 can be classified into 2 category. Number 1, applicability, non-applicability. If 5 conditions satisfied, 165 will be applicable. Number 1, there should be a non-resident who are situated outside India. He should provide specified services to a specified person located in India. Then the specified person located in India is liable to deduct at the rate of 6%. Equalization levy will not be applicable if 3 conditions are satisfied or under 3 circumstances, whatever it may be, which are ABC condition, which are A, B, C. A means applicability irukad. A stands for applicability irukad. That means that non-resident is having a permanent establishment in India and through that permanent establishment is providing the specified service. B stands for business or profession. It is not for the business or profession. C stands for consideration. Consideration has not exceeded 1 lakh. This is the applicability and non-applicability of 165. Now moving into the next one, man, 165A. Once after I finalize or concluded all the charts, you can write it also because it will be very useful for tuck revision of the NLV equalization. Don't write now, then என்ன சார் நீ என்ன முறைப்ப என்ன நான் மாத்திட்டே இருப்பேன், அங்கங்க நான் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிட்டே இருப்பேன், என்னையா அவர் எழுத விட மாட்டேங்கிறாருங்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். அதான் அப்படிதான் மாத்திட்டே இருப்பேன். ரைட். 165A again class 1 2 category. Number 1, applicability and non-applicability. Sir, when this 165A applicable, man, number 1, the first condition number 1, there should be a resident, non-resident. Again non-resident venuma? Non-resident venule? Yes sir. That non-resident should be an operator. That is a condition number 2, my dear lovable students. That non-resident should be a e-commerce operator. Right. That e-commerce operator should supply what or what? Goods or services. Supply goods or services or both. Are you really with me? Yes, sir. Then, sir, யாருக்கு? To a person. Yes, அதுக்கு லிஸ்ட் கொடுத்திருக்காங்க இல்லையா? Sir, 165A பாரு, to a person NI in India or to a non-resident in the specified circumstance as provided below, or to a person who buys such goods or service or both using IP address located in. So I used to say specified person. I used to say, because மூணு பேர் இருக்கறனால we can call it a specified person. So that should be a non-resident. Such non-resident should be a e-commerce operator. You should supply either goods or services or both, or you should make the facility. That is, some facility provide பண்ணனும் to supply the goods or service or both to a specified person. Correct? Then specified person is liable to deduct equalization levy at the rate of 2%. Right? We are having a separate discussion who was the specified person. That's a separate and as a definition. Classified how many category? 3 category. So specified person can be classified into 3 category. Number 1, person resident in India. Number 2, non-resident having non-resident in the specified circumstance as provided below. So non-resident in specified circumstances below. Right? And the next one, third one, my dear lovable students, person who buys goods or services. Person who buys what or what? Goods or services using the IP address in India. IP address in India. Clarity? Now I am extending non-chargeability of equalization levy. Equalization levy, மூணு circumstances enna avadu. That non-resident is having a permanent establishment in India, and through that permanent establishment is supplying such goods or service or both. This is number 1. Number 2 is business or profession. Angi irundhucha? Yes, sir. Ingiyum business or profession. Whose business or profession? Hello, sir. Inga business or profession ங்கிற condition கிடையாது இல்லையா? அங்க business or profession. இங்க வந்து எங்க கவர் ஆச்சுனா 165 ல கவர் ஆச்சுனா வராது. Third one அங்க consideration. இங்க consideration is 2 crores. 2 கோடி தாண்டலைனா 165A ல equalization levy நீ டிடக்ட் பண்ண வேண்டிய. So this inapplicability, non-applicability can be classified into 3 category. Number 1, that non-resident is having a P in India, and through that permanent establishment is providing e-commerce NSR operating services. Right? E-commerce operating services. Once 165 enna 165A enna avadu, and the turnover or the gross receipts or sales has not exceeded how much crore? 2 crores, then this section will not be applicable. I'm reading, man. What is specified circumstances? எங்க சொல்லிருக்காங்கன்னா applicability ல சொல்லிருக்காங்க இல்லையா? To a specified person, number 1, a resident in India. Number 2, a non-resident in. Number 1, sale of advertisement which targets a customer who is NI in India, or a customer who access the advertisement through IP address located in India, and sale of data collected from a person who is a dash in India, or from a person who use IP address located in what? India. That means inga to a resident, non-resident. Appo a non-resident is providing service to a non-resident. In the என்ன circumstance? Specified circumstance. Specified circumstance என்னன்னா, they are selling advertisement. They are putting what? For example, I am situated outside India. Hello, sir. Even service recipient is also situated. That person is selling one product. He is marketing that product to the Indian customer. To the so sale of advertisement which targets a customer who is dash in India, and the customer என்னவா இருக்காங்க? Or a customer who access the advertisement through internet protocol address located in what? India. அப்ப service provider எங்க இருக்காங்க? Service recipient outside India தான். ஆனா service advertisement service provide பண்றாங்க. Service என்ன? And advertisement service யாரை டார்கெட் பண்ணுதுன்னா இந்தியன் கஸ்டமரை டார்கெட் பண்ணுது. ரைட்? Number 2, sale of data. Data விக்கிறாங்க. அந்த டேட்டா யார்கிட்ட இருந்து கலெக்ட் பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னா collected from a person who is in India, or from a person who uses IP address located in India. These are the specified circumstances in which, sir, யார் கையில கூட non-resident கையில கூட என்ன attract ஆகும்? Equalization levy attract ஆகும். Are you really with me? Sir, அப்போ this is the specified circumstance. So non-resident specified circumstance classified into 2 category. Number 1, sale of advertisement targeting Indian customer. Number 2, sale of data collected from resident in India. Yes, or IP address in India. Clarity? I'm extending, man. Consideration received or receivable from e-commerce supply of services would include. Hello, sir. Because 2 கோடி சொல்லிருக்கோம்ல, 2 கோடி தாண்டினாதான் equalization levy. 2 கோடிக்குள்ளனா equalization levy கொடுக்க வேண்டிய. When you are calculating that 2 crores, these 2 things should be included. Number 1, consideration for N of goods, irrespective of whether the e-commerce operator dash the goods. I am just a mediator, man. Still, that should also be counted as the consideration. However, it shall not include consideration for sale of such goods which are owned by a person in India or by a permanent establishment in India of a person in India, if sale of such goods is effectively connected with such an establishment, permanent establishment. So I am having an online platform. And I am not the owner of the goods. Some other person is owner of the goods. That owner should be a resident or non-resident? That owner of the goods should be a resident or non-resident? Should be a non-resident, and he should not have a P in India. That means தலைவன் எங்க இருக்கா? அப்போ outside Indiaல அவன் உட்கார்ந்துட்டு யார் மூலமா எந்த கஸ்டமருக்கு வித்துட்டு இருக்கான்? இந்தியன் கஸ்டமருக்கு வித்துட்டு இருக்கான். இதான் அவன் பண்றான். ஹலோ சார். So even though இந்த சார் e-commerce operator அந்த goods என்ன பண்ணலனா கூட own பண்ணலனா கூட it should also be counted for the 2 crore. ஒத்துக்கறனே? அப்ப consideration for sale of goods irrespective of whether the e-commerce operator dash the goods. However, it shall not include the consideration for sale of goods, such goods which are owned by a person in India or by a permanent establishment in India of a person and a resident in India, if sale of such goods is effectively connected with such permanent establishment in India. The second one, consideration for N of services. Because இப்ப நம்ம யாரை பத்தி பேசியாச்சு? goods பத்தி பேசியாச்சு. இப்ப நான் சர்வீஸ் பத்தி பேசணும்ல. Sir, irrespective of whether service is provided or facilitated by யாரு? However, it shall not include consideration for N of services which are provided by a person in India or by a permanent establishment in India of a person non-resident in India, if provision of such service is effectively connected with it. அப்ப there is a online platform, கரெக்டா இல்லையா? சார், சர்வீஸ் ப்ரொவைடர் யாரா இருக்கா? நான் ரெசிடெண்டா இருக்கா? ரெசிடெண்டா இருக்கவும் கூடாது, permanent establishment in India இருக்க கூடாது. கரெக்டா? They are providing service to யாரு in India? Resident in India. This service is provided to resident in India through e-commerce operator. Then what levy will be attracted? Various terms will be defining much more. What is specified services? What is e-commerce operator? What is e-commerce supply or NSR services? இதெல்லாம் ஃபுல்லா படிக்கும் போது அந்த டிஸ்கஷனுக்கு ஒரு அர்த்தம் வரும். Equalization levy classified into 2 categories. Section 165, Section 165A. Section 165 is specified services. Section 165A is e-commerce supply or services. Right? Specified service NLM, sir. Online advertisement. Number 1. Any provision of an advertising or any other facility or service for the purpose of an advertising. Any other service as may be. Online means a facility or service or right or benefit or access that is obtained through the internet or any other form of digital or telecommunication network. That means என்ன specified service? Number 1, என்ன advertisement? Online advertisement. இல்ல any provision for என்ன advertising? Digital advertising. Digital advertising spaceக்கான என்னவும் specified services தான். Basically advertising. Number 1, என்ன advertising? Online advertising, digital advertising space or any other service as may be notified by the என்ன government? Central government. Any other service as may be notified by the. These are என்ன services? Specified. இது எங்க relevant na? We talk 165. That should be என்ன resident? Should provide specified service. So question arises, what is a specified service? Is either online advertisement, digital advertising space or any other service notified by the. Alright, so here definition specified services can be classified into how many categories? 3 categories. Correct? Number 1, online advertisement, digital advertisement space, any other notified services by the central government. Right? And we are having the definition of any person, specified person who is a resident person carrying on business or profession in India, or who is a non-resident who is having a permanent establishment in India. Permanent establishment in India. Okay, but then the specified person is liable to deduct equalization levy at the rate of non-applicable ABC condition. Applicability avadu if that non-resident service provider is having a, and through that permanent establishment, B stands for the person who are making the payment is not engaged in business or profession, or the consideration has not exceeded 1 lakh. Then 165A, I will continue the definition. E-commerce operator. Another? A non-resident e-commerce operator யாரா இருக்கணும்? வெளிய இருக்கணும். ஓகேவா? அதான் நான் சொன்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள் சார் அமேசான் எங்க இருக்கான்? அவனுக்கு இந்தியால என்ன எஸ்டாப்லிஷ்மென்ட் இல்ல. Who owns or operate or manage digital or any facility or platform for online sale of goods or online provision of service or both. Appo this eco should be situated outside India. That's what NSR 165A, the assessee, that is the person who should be e-commerce operator. E-commerce operator should be a முதல்ல அவன் என்னவா இருக்கணும்? e-commerce operator இருக்கணும். ரெண்டாவது கண்டிஷன் அந்த e-commerce operator யாரா இருக்கணும்? நான் ரெசிடென்டா இருக்கணும். அவ இ-காமர்ஸ் ஆபரேட்டர் என்னவா இருந்து என்ன பண்ணணும்? சப்ளை ஆஃப் குட்ஸ் ஆர் சர்வீசஸ் ஆர் போத் பண்ணணும். கரெக்ட்டா? Now what is e-commerce supply or services? Online sale of goods owned by an operator. நீ ஓன் பண்ற குட்ஸ் வேணா இந்தியால இருக்கணும்னு வெச்சுக்கோ. or online provision of service provided by யாரு? நீ ஓன் பண்ற சர்வீஸே வேணா இந்தியால இருக்கணும்னு வெச்சுக்கோ. or online sale of what or what? Facilitated by யாரு? That means he is not the owner, he is just facilitating. Or any combination of activity in 1, 2 or 3 என்ன கர்ம கன்றாவியோ பண்ணு. பாதி குட்ஸ் உன்னோடது, பாதி சர்வீஸ் இன்னொருத்தனோடது, பாதி சர்வீஸ் உன்னோடது, பாதி குட்ஸ் வேற ஒருத்தனோடது. இருந்தாலும் இந்தியால என்ன கட்டினா போதும்? Online sale of goods and online provision of service would include one or more of the following online activity, like acceptance of என்ன for sale, placing of an order, acceptance of an order, or payment of what? Supply of goods or provision of service partly or wholly. இதில் நீ என்ன பண்ணாலும் சரி அது என்ன ஆகும்னா, நான் ஒரு சாஃப்ட்வேரா இருக்கேன், நான் வெறும் சேல் ஆக்செப்ட் மட்டும் தான் பண்றேன், நான் பர்ச்சேஸ் ஆர்டரை பிளேஸ் மட்டும் தான் பண்றேன். ஹலோ சார், நான் பர்ச்சேஸ் ஆர்டரை என்ன பண்றேன்? ஆக்செப்ட் பண்றேன். இல்ல நான் கன்சிடரேஷன் பே பண்ணி தரேன். இல்ல சப்ளை ஆஃப் குட்ஸ் ஆர் ப்ரொவிஷன் ஆஃப் சர்வீஸ் பார்ட்லி ஆர் ஹோலி. இது எல்லாமே என்ன ஆகும்னா, அப்போ 165A is applicable to என்ன காமர்ஸ் ஆபரேட்டர். சோ அப்ப முதல்ல யாரா இருக்கணும்? இ-காமர்ஸ். அவன் யாரா இருக்கணும்? நான் ரெசிடென்ட். அவன் என்ன பண்ணணும்? சப்ளை ஆஃப் குட்ஸ் ஆர் சர்வீஸ் ஆர் போத். தட் அவன் நம்ம அந்த டைரக்ட் டாக்ஸ்ல என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா இ-காமர்ஸ் சப்ளை ஆர் சர்வீசஸ். அது என்ன சொல்றாங்க? யாருக்கு சப்ளை பண்ணும்? ஸ்பெசிஃபைட் பர்சனுக்கு சப்ளை பண்ணும். ஏன்னா ஸ்பெசிஃபைட் பர்சன் 3 பேரா இருக்காங்க. நம்பர் 1 resident individual, resident India, resident in India. Number 2 non-resident who is what? Non-resident in specified circumstances. Correct? Third one, IP address. Person who are buying what or what goods or services through IP address located in India. இந்த 3 பேருக்கு அந்த e-commerce operator என்ன ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணாதா? goods or services ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணாதா? equalization levy is liable to be deducted. Right? Varaja 166. So applicability of 165 and 165A comes to 1. Now moving into 166. இப்போ யார் டாக்ஸ் கட்டணும், எதுக்கு மேல டாக்ஸ் கட்டணும், எப்ப டாக்ஸ் கட்டணும், क्वेश्चन arises இல்லையா? Collection and recovery of equalization levy on என்ன services? Person responsible for deduction of என்ன levy? Every person being a what? And carrying on business or profession or non-resident having NI in India shall deduct equalization levy referred in 165 subsection 1 from the amount paid or payable to a non-resident in respect of any services. You are a resident, and carrying on what or what? That means you are a resident, you are carrying business or profession. You are making payment to a non-resident outside India for to online advertisement அப்படினு சொல்லி நீ P&L அக்கவுண்ட்ல டெபிட் பண்ண போற in excess of 1 lakh. For this don't deduct TDS, deduct equalization levy at the rate of 6%. Otherwise sir, whatever amount you have debited to an account, P&L account should be added back. 1B, B stands for broadcasting. We have talked in PGBP. Yes, sir. So without deducting the equalization levy, hello, sir. If you are debiting that item in the account, P&L account, 100% will be disallowed. As per section 40A subsection 1B. So generally people will be having a shocking mindset when you hear this provision. Now, the service provider is situated outside India. That means he is a non-resident. He is providing specified services to a resident in India or to a non-resident who is having a permanent establishment in India. So you are a resident is making payment to a resident, non-resident. So generally will be having a doubt that எப்படி சார் ஒரு எல்லா ரெசிடென்ட்னால என்ன பிடிக்க முடியும் equalization levy பிடிக்கும் எல்லா ரெசிடென்ட் equalization levy பிடிக்க வேண்டிய that resident should be engaged in business or profession கரெக்ட்டா business or profession means tan இருக்கும் pan இருக்கும் நீ TDS பிடிச்ச பழக்கம் இருக்கும் TCS கலெக்ட் பண்ணி பழக்கம் இருக்கும் நீ என்ன levy பிடிக்கணும் at the rate of so every person being a what resident அங்க நிறுத்தல and carrying on or a non-resident having a non-resident having a permanent establishment in India, kandipa business or profession na. Pinne vara pooja kala poranga, correct liya. Right, sir. In India shall deduct equalization levy referred in 165 subsection 1 from the amount paid or payable to a ARC in respect of specified services. Up inga paru, sir, 165 paru, 165 5 conditions should be satisfied. That should be a non-resident should provide specified services to a specified person who are situated in India, correct? Then equalization levy should be deducted at the rate of. So who is the person liable to deduct equalization levy? Specified person who are in India. Who is that specified person in India? Resident who are carrying business or profession. Non-resident is having a. I'm moving to the next one. Rate of equalization levy already discussed earlier. At the person of the amount of consideration for any services paid or payable to ARC in respect of specified service by a and carrying on or non-resident having a that means basically specified person correct நீ என்ன consideration pay பண்றியோ அதுக்கு மேல எத்தனை percent 6%. The amount of consideration, the amount of equalization of interest and penalty payable and refund shall be round off to the nearest multiple of n rupee. Nearest 10 rupee ki multiply பண்ணிட்டு round off பண்ணிட்டு வேணும் pay பண்றதுக்கு. For this purpose a part of rupee consisting of paise shall be ignored and thereafter if such amount is not a multiple of what, then if the last figure in the amount is 5 or more, the amount shall be increased to next higher amount which is a multiple of. If the last figure is less than 5, then the amount shall be reduced to next lower amount which is a multiple of paisa utru. Paisa utru, for example, equalization levy நீ பிடிக்கும் போது 173 ன்னு வருதுன்னு வெச்சுக்குவேன். 170 equalization levy கட்டனா போதும். 176 ன்னு வருதுனா அவ்வளவுதான் சார். இதான் சார் மேட்டர். Are you really with me? What is the threshold limit? Equalization levy is deductible if the aggregate amount of consideration for specified service in a previous year exceed 1 lakh. Time period for remittance of NL levy equal. TDS பிடிச்ச அடுத்த மாசம் 7ஆம் தேதிக்குள்ள கட்டறோமா? அப்ப equalization levyக்கு அதே தான் இருக்கணும், கரெக்ட்டா? The equalization levy so deducted during any n month shall be paid by every assessee to the credit of the central government by 7th of the month immediately following the said n month. The assessee who is required to deduct and pay n levy shall pay the amount of such levy by remitting it into the N Bank of India or in any branch of SBI or any authorized bank accompanied by a NL levy challan. அப்போ நீ TDS TCS இப்போ TAN நம்பர் PAN நம்பர் இல்ல வந்து என்ன சொல்றேன்னா அந்த மாதிரி நம்பர்லாம் இல்ல, நீ equalization levy பிடிச்சேனா ஹலோ சார் equalization levy challan ஜெனரேட் பண்ணிட்டு ஐதர் RBI அக்கவுண்ட் மூலமா நீ கட்டிக்கலாம் இல்ல authorized SBI அக்கவுண்ட் மூலமா கட்டிக்கலாம். Consequences of failure to deduct NL levy. Equalization levy assessee who failed to deduct NL levy shall notwithstanding such failure be liable to pay to levy to the credit of NL government by 7th of the month immediately following the said NL month. அப்ப என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா நீ வந்து என்ன பண்ணல equalization levy அதெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு தெரிய வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. Notwithstanding such failure be liable to NSR pay the levy to the credit of NL government by 7th of the month immediately following the said calendar month. Full amount நீ pay பண்ணிட்ட. யாருக்கு? பாக்கெட் இருந்து 6% கட்டு. Hello sir. Thus if the assessee responsible for deducting NL levy fails to do so, he has in any case to pay such levy to the credit of the NL government by 7th of the month immediately following the said calendar month. நீ உன் பாக்கெட்ல இருந்து எடுத்து எத்தனை % கட்டு? 6%. அது PL ல கொண்டு போய் பண்ணா நாங்க ஆட் பேக் பண்ணுவோம். Are you really with me? நீ 6% டிடக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு ரிமைனிங் அவனுக்கு பாஸ் ஆன் பண்ணி இருந்திருக்கணும், கரெக்ட்டா? ஆனா நீ ஃபுல் அமௌண்ட் அவனுக்கு கொடுத்துட்டு என்ன சொல்ற, சாரி சார் நேத்தே சொல்லியிருக்கல சார் சொல்ற, நீ பரவாயில்ல உன் பாக்கெட்ல இருந்து எத்தனை பர்சன்ட் கட்டு. These are the consequence to failure. What? Deduct. Are you all really with me? So 165 specified services, 165A e-commerce supplier of services, 166 collection and recovery, collection and of என்ன levy. நான் heading, நீ answer. Who is the person responsible for deduction of equalization levy? Specified person. தப்பிச்சிட்ட. What is the rate of equalization levy? 6%. Threshold limit 1 lakh. What is the time period for remit of equalization levy? 7th of the. What are the consequences of failure to deduct equalization levy? It will be treated as if equalization levy has been deducted. You have to pay from your pocket. I am coming to the 166A. Collection on recovery of equalization levy on என்ன இப்ப அடுத்து பத்தி பேசணும். அப்ப 166 யாரை பத்தி பேசணும்? on என்ன services. அப்ப ரெண்டு செக்ஷன் applicability சொன்னனா, equalization levy கரெக்ட்டா 165 165A. 165 ஓட collection and recovery 166 ல சொல்லி இருக்காங்க. 165A ஓட இது collection and recovery, அதுவே ஏனா நாங்க ஏனா தான் சொல்லுவோம் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி கவர்மெண்ட் ஒத்த கால நிக்கறோம். Are you all really with me? Collection recovery of equalization levy of e-commerce supply. The equalization levy referred in 165A subsection 1. அது எதுக்குது? E-commerce operator services has to be paid by every e-commerce operator to the credit to the government for the quarter of the financial year ending with the date specified in the column of the table below by the due date specified in the corresponding entry in column number 3 of the said table. இங்க வா. That is 165 ஓட collection and recovery தான் 166. அது monthly. அது எப்படி? 7th of the. ஆனா e-commerce operator இருக்கார் இல்லையா, அவர் quarterly. அவர் இப்போ monthly கட்ட வேண்டிய, எப்ப கட்டினா போதும்னா குவார்டர். இப்போ குவார்டர் ஏப்ரல் மே ஜூன், 7th of what? ஜூலை. சார் ஜூலை ஆகஸ்ட் செப்டம்பர், 7th of அக்டோபர். சார் அக்டோபர் நவம்பர் டிசம்பர், 31st மார்ச். நேத்து கட்டி இருக்கும். Are you really with me? Yes sir. So the amount of consideration, amount of equalization levy, interest and penalty payable and refund shall be round off to the nearest multiple of 10 rupees. Sir, the same man. If it is more than ignore paise, pichakara paye, more than 5 rupees round off to the next 10, less than 5 rupees, sir, round off to the. Sir, the e-commerce operator is required to pay what? Shall pay the amount of such levy by remitting it to the younger RBI வழியா கட்டிக்கலாம், இல்லனா or in any branch of what? SBI or any authorized bank accompanied by a equalization levy shall. ஒரு டவுட், டிரான்சாக்ஷன்ல கிளாரிட்டி இருந்தாதான் இந்த டாபிக் கிளியர் ஆகும். அந்த டிரான்சாக்ஷன் கிளாரிட்டிக்காக நான் ஒரு வாட்டி திரும்பி வர்றேன், நீ என் கூட முடிஞ்சா திரும்பி வா. சார் 165 165A இப்படின்னு ரெண்டு செக்ஷன் இருக்கு சார். என்ன சார் 165? ஸ்பெசிஃபைட் சர்வீசஸ். 165A e-commerce supplier service. 165 ல வேர்ல்ட் மேப். ஓகேவா சார்? திஸ் இஸ் அவுட் சைட் இந்தியா அண்ட் திஸ் இஸ் இந்தியா. சர்வீஸ் ப்ரொவைட் பண்ற ஆள் எங்க தான் இருக்கணும்? என்னவா தான் இருக்கணும்? யாருக்கு சர்வீஸ் ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணணும்? ஸ்பெசிஃபைட் பர்சன். இந்த ஸ்பெசிஃபைடு பர்சன் யாரா இருக்கலாம்? ரெசிடென்ட் இன் இந்தியாவா இருக்கலாம், who are engaged in business or profession, correcta, or non-resident having permanent establishment in India, right? யாருக்கு பே பண்றா? specified person non-resident க்கு பே பண்றாங்க in excess of 1 lakh. Then this specified person is liable to what? Deduct equalization levy at the rate of 6% and should remit to the government within 7th of the next calendar month. Sir, அது கட்டும்போது பைசா இருந்தா விட்டுரு, கரெக்டா? இன் கேஸ் less than 5 இருந்தா round back to the 10, கரெக்டா? more than 5 இருந்தா, the reason, the logic why they are talking about paisa and all, the service provider is situated, he would have billed in foreign currency. So if you convert that in foreign currency, forex, hello sir, paisa may become. Correct? Yes, sir. Netting is there, crossing is there. So, paisa may be coming. Right? That's why they are saying the rule of this. Right? Fantastic to the core. Now, the second one, 165A. 165A, who's the service provider? Non-e-commerce operator. That e-commerce operator should be a non-resident. You are saying non-resident e-commerce operator. Both are same. I want 5 conditions. That's right. So, assessee should be a e-commerce operator. E-commerce operator should be a non-resident, and he should do what? Either supply of goods or services or both, which may be owned by him or which may be facilitating the arrangement. Right? To dash person in India. Here the twist. Here is the twist. Okay, va? Specified person in India. Correct? The specified person may be resident in India, non-resident in specified circumstances. There are 2 specified circumstances are there. Sale of advertisement, sale of data. Correct? Yes, sir. Third one, let be any person who are using the IP address in India. Right? So a non-resident is purchasing some goods or services through the e-commerce operator platform. Correct? Yes, sir. And a non-resident in special circumstances purchasing goods or services through the, sir, any person by using the IP address which are located in India is purchasing goods or services through the, who is the person making the payment? Who is the person who are making the payment? Service recipient. That means specified person. Specified person. Correct? This specified person will make the payment to the e-commerce operator. But who is having the responsibility of paying the equalization levy to the government of India? This e-commerce operator should pay. At the rate of 2%. In the sense means, this is the logic. I am e-commerce operator. Who are situated? I got from your country some business. I got some business from your country. Sir, which should be more than 2 crore. Which should be more than? That business amount should be more than? Then provisions of equalization will be applicable. Then 2% I should contribute as donation to the government of India. Because from your country only I have earned the business. அதுக்கு நான் உங்களுக்கு டாக்ஸ் தரணும்ல, அதுக்கு டாக்ஸ் நான் எத்தனை பர்சன்ட்? 2% தான் கேட்கறோம். இதே இது இந்தியால பர்மனன்ட் எஸ்டாப்லிஷ்மென்ட் வச்சு பிசினஸ் பார்த்தா 40% கேட்பாங்க. நீ ஃபாரின் கம்பெனின்னு சொல்லி. ஃபாரின் கம்பெனின்னு சொல்லி. ஹலோ சார், இதே இது நீ ஆன்லைன் டிரான்சாக்ஷன் பண்றதா இருந்தா எங்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு பர்சன்ட் கொடுத்துருங்க? அது யாரு கட்டணுங்கிறது என்னோட क्वेश्चन. Point of difference between 166 and 166A. Sir, equalization levy எத்தனை வார்த்தை? Classified how many category? 2 category. Number 1, 165, 165A. 165 யாருக்கு? Specified services. 165A, e-commerce, supply of goods. 165 ஓட collection and recovery, 165A ஓட collection and recovery, 166A. கரெக்டா? இது ரெண்டுக்குமே டிஃபரன்ஸ். equalization levy on என்ன services? The person responsible for collecting the levy is the என்ன recipient? Availing the specified services who has to deduct என்ன levy from the amount paid or payable to என்ன resident in respect of such services. Already நான் இப்பதான் இந்த கிராஃப் எல்லாம் போட்டு உங்களுக்கு எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணேன். இந்த சர்க்கம்ஸ்டன்ஸ்ல யார் equalization levy பிடிக்கணும்னா specified person who are situated in, who is the recipient of the service? Hello sir. Sir, the service recipient responsible for deduction and remittance is a resident carrying on business or profession or a non-resident having NI in India. But as per section NIA, equalization levy on e-commerce supply or service, the person responsible for paying the levy is the recipient of the amount. Recipient of the, that is e-commerce operator affecting e-commerce supply or services. Sir, in 166 the person responsible for paying the equalization levy is the recipient of service. Here recipient of amount. That is e-commerce operator. அவன் எங்க இருக்கான்? இந்தியால இருக்கான். It's like OADR மாதிரி. Online information data access and retrieval servicesல அவங்க GST கட்டறாங்க இல்லையா? அது மாதிரி அவனே என்ன கட்டணும்னா equalization levy கட்டணும். ஏனா அவன் எங்க பிசினஸ் பண்ணிருக்கான்? நீ சொல்லு, இந்தியால பிசினஸ் பண்ணிருக்கேன்னா நீ இந்தியால நேரா அமேசான்ல போவ. அமேசான் உண்மையிலேயே அமேசான் யார் வச்சிருக்கா? அது மட்டும் தெரியும் சார். அவுட்சைட் இந்தியா சார். அவுட்சைட் இந்தியா. நீ போய் சார் உப்புல இருந்து கற்பூரம் வரைக்கும் நீ என்ன பண்ணுவேனா அமேசான்ல போய் ஆர்டர் போடுவ. நீ உனக்கு என்ன வேணுமோ போய் அமேசான் ஆர்டர் போடுவ. நீ கரெக்டா இல்லையா? எஸ் சார். அமேசான் ஆர்டர் போட்டேனா ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நீ மேபி வாங்குறது இந்த பென்னா இருக்கும். இந்த பென் அமேசான்ல வாங்க முடியுமா? ப்ரொவைடர் அது ஸ்டாக் இருக்குன்னா வாங்க முடியும். அது லிஸ்ட் பண்ணியிருந்தா வாங்க முடியும். நான் மீன் பண்றேன். கரெக்டா? எஸ் சார். இந்த பென்னு நீ வாங்குறதுக்கு நீ ஈக்குவலைசேஷன் லெவி 2% புடினா சார் காமன் பப்ளிக் will only use the Amazon. They cannot detect equalization. But 165 அப்படி கிடையாது. Resident who are engaged in what? சாவு. Non-resident who are having a they can detect at the rate of common people. How they will be deducting equalization levy? That is why the responsibility of payment of equalization levy has been shifted to the e-commerce operator. Clarity? Yes, sir. Varaja, there is no deduction obligation on the part of service recipient or buyer. In this case, hello sir. Therefore, in this case, the responsibility for payment of equalization levy is vested on the non-resident who does not have a P in India, or even in case non-resident e-commerce operator has a, but such transaction is not effectively connected with such P in India. True. And the non-resident either India la enna irukkodadu இல்ல தலைவனுக்கு என்ன இருக்கு? ஆனா இந்த செயல் எது வழியா நடக்கல? P வழியா நடக்கல. ஹலோ சார், கிளாரிட்டி இருக்கா உனக்கு? அப்ப செக்ஷன் வைஸ் நம்ம எப்படி சம்மரைஸ் பண்ணலாம்னா ஈக்குவலைசேஷன் லெவிய ஓகேவா? Equalization levy classified into how many categories? 2 categories. Section 165, section 165A. 165 oda collection and recovery, section 166. 165A oda 166A. In the 165 classified into 2 categories, correct? Which are applicability and non-applicability, right? Applicability 5 condition. Condition number 1. The assessee should be a non-resident. He should provide specified service to a specified person located in India. Then the specified person located in India is liable to deduct equalization levy at the rate of, right? Non-applicability, sir, equalization levy 3 condition la enna avadu? Apply ஆவாது. So A, B, C. Correct? What A is saying? Non-resident is having a permanent establishment in India, and through that permanent establishment is providing the specified services. Then will not be applicable. Now, a resident is not engaged in what? Business or profession in India. Next one. Consideration does not exceed 1 lakh. This is what 165 is all about. In the 165 la definitions நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்க வேண்டியிருக்கு. கரெக்ட்டா? The relevant definitions are non-resident பத்தி தெரிய வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்ல, but specified service பத்தி நீ தெரிஞ்சதா ஆகணும். கரெக்ட்டா? Then specified person பத்தி தெரிஞ்சதா ஆகணும். கரெக்ட்டா? அவ்வளவுதான். இந்த ரெண்டே தான். ஒன்னு specified servicesனா என்ன? Specified services again classified into 3 categories. Number 1, online advertisement, digital advertisement space, notified services by the central government, right? Next one, the second category is specified. Rendu பேர் தான் specified person இல்லையா? Specified person means number 1, a resident who are engaged in business or profession in India. Number 2, a non-resident who is having a permanent establishment in India. என்னப்பா என்ஜாய் பண்றியாப்பா? Yes sir. Look at the flow of the topic. செல் போ. தே கர்ம அந்த 3 சாப்டர் இருந்துச்சு பாரு. நான் அப்பவே சொன்னேன். All the remaining are like this only. Only thing is I have to discuss. That's it. When I discuss, the things will be very easy for you. பட்டு அடிச்சிட்டு போயிட்டே இருப்போம். அது சூனியராதுங்க வா. The next one, sir, that's it. This is the max. Next one. 165A 165A மொத்தமா அடிச்சாச்சு இல்லையா நம்ம எல்லாமே முடிச்சாச்சு. Then 165A, what is 165A? E-commerce operator, correct? You can call it as e-commerce operator who are supplying e-commerce supply or NSR goods, whatever it may be. Again, classified in two category. Number one, what? Applicability and non-applicability. Oh, right. Applicability and non-applicability. Applicability 5 conditions should be satisfied. Number one, assessee should be a e-commerce operator. You should be a non-resident outside India. Third one, you should engage in supply of goods or services or both to a specified person who are situated in India. Then fifth one, specified person, not situated in India, specified person. Because IP address kuda varalam. Correct ah? It should be provided to a specified person. Then the e-commerce operator is liable for equalization levy at the rate of 2%. Now this you should have clarity. E-commerce operator should have the responsibility to pay the tax to the government. Right, at the rate of 2% on a quarterly basis. Right. Sir, now non-applicability. Sir, equalization levy, three things, three circumstances it is not applicable. 165A. Number one, that e-commerce operator is having a permanent establishment in India, and through that permanent establishment he provided goods or services or both. Next, number two. Yes sir, that transaction is covered under, then 165A will not be applicable. Third one, turnover limit. Consideration should be more than 2 crore. And 2 crore enna avale exceed avale abdina not applicable, right? So here important definitions you should be taking care. The important definition relating to this section. Number one, sir, e-commerce operator yarun vana who should be situated outside India is e-commerce operator. Non-resident, right? Sir, supply of goods or service or both. Specified person is a big definition, right? Specified person, I think three people will be treated as specified person. Number one, general resident in India, non-resident in special circumstances, and third one, any person, correct? Any person who are using IP address in India, right? The special circumstance class 1 2 category nanikren. Number one, sale of advertisement targeting Indian customer, sale of advertisement targeting Indian customer, then sale of data collected from Indian resident. Right, Indian resident. Resident Indian, right? That's the second definition. So specified person also we have answered. E-commerce operator is liable to pay equalization levy at the rate of 2%. On a monthly basis. Anga, right? Now this point no need to explain. This point no need to explain. Turnover point, but that turnover point include. There was one specific inclusion was there. Nammaloda goods sari, third person goods sari. When you are calculating the consideration of etna crore, 2 crore. Turnover of 2 crores, right? Tension avat. Sir, definition specified person. Next one, turnover of etna crore, 2 crore. When you are calculating the turnover of 2 crore, you have to include the goods or services owned by the e-commerce operator plus goods or services owned facilitated by the e-commerce operator. Correct? Facilitated through e-commerce operator. Facilitated through e-commerce operator. Enna purinjikiriyappa? I'm moving into the next one. Next one, 167. Furnishing of what? Statement. Statement in prescribed form within the time. Every assessee or ANM commerce operator, because these are the two guys who are responsible for deduction of shall within prescribed time after the end of the year. Financial year முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் prepare and deliver or cost to be delivered to the யாருக்கு or to any other authority or agency authorized by the board in this behalf a statement in the NF form verified in the setting for the prescribed particulars in respect of all or e-commerce supply or services as the case may be during such an year. அப்போ அந்த particular என்ன இயர்ல financial yearல என்னென்ன specified services நீ அவைல் பண்ணிருக்க, என்னென்ன goods and services e-commerce operator supply பண்ணிருக்காரு அப்படிங்கிற ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் யாரும் தரணும். அசசியும் எது முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் அப்ப மந்த்லி பேமெண்ட், குவார்டர்லி பேமெண்ட், கரெக்டா? And a statement, it's like return of income. It's like, right, the statement in respect of all specified services or e-commerce supplier service as the NMAV, chargeable to a levy during any financial year is required to be furnished electronically under digital signature or electronically through duly verified on or before EPO 30th of June. 30th of June. That means due date 31st July. அதுக்கு ஒரு மாசம் முன்னாடி 30th June குள்ள நீ என்ன பண்ணனும்னா statement furnish பண்ணனும். Immediately following that financial year, this is as per rule number 5. Time limit for filing என்ன statement? அந்த statementல தப்பு வர என்ன இருக்கு? வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. If there is a mistake apparent from record, you can rectify. But this is not அந்த section கிடையாது, but on the concept. An assessee or who has not furnished a statement on or before what? Immediately following the year, or having furnished a statement within that time, notices any omission or any particulars. That is raw, correct? Revision for omission or wrong particulars. May furnish a statement or any statement. As may be, correct? Such statement or any statement as we file at any time before the expiry of a year from the end of the financial year in which the specified service was provided or e-commerce supplier service was made or provided or facilitated. So this is not with regard to that statement. 2 years from the end of the financial year in which the specified service has been provided or e-commerce supply or services was made, facilitated. That means on statement ஏதாவது என்ன இருக்குனா தப்பு இருக்குனா அது 2 வருஷத்துக்குள்ள ரிவைஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அந்த 2 வருஷம் not from the end of the financial year statement has been filed. அதான் பிரச்சனை. 2 years from the end of the financial year in which the time limit for filing a statement in response to notice issued by யார்? So where any assessee or e-commerce operator fails to furnish the what? Statement within the prescribed time. What is the time? 30th June. சார் நீ ரிட்டர்ன் ஃபைல் பண்ணலைன்னா உனக்கு 142 subsection 1 class 1 நோட்டீஸ் வருதா? அதே மாதிரி ஏவோ நோட்டீஸ் அனுப்புவோம். குரங்கு என்ன ஃபைல் பண்ணு? The AO may serve a notice upon such assessee or e-commerce operator requiring him to furnish a statement in the form verified in the prescribed manner and setting for the particulars within such time as may be. AO has been empowered to issue notice for furnishing such statement which then has to be furnished within 30 days from the date of service of the notice. ஒத்துக்கிறியா? இப்போ என்னடா இது ஒரு நார்மல் ரிட்டர்ன் மாதிரி. எப்படின்னா நீ ரிட்டர்ன் ஆஃப் இன்கம் ஃபைல் பண்ற. ரிட்டர்ன் ஆஃப் இன்கம் ஃபைல் பண்றதுக்கு 139 சப்செக்ஷன் 1ல டியூ டேட் இருக்கு. ஆனா இதோட ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் ஃபைல் இங்க வந்து ரிட்டர்ன் சொல்ல மாட்டோம், நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்லுவோம்? 167ல ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் ஃபைல் பண்ணனும். ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் இன் தி பிரிஸ்கிரைப்ட் ஃபார்ம் வித்தின் பிரிஸ்கிரைப்ட் டைம். யார் ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் ஃபைல் பண்ணனும்? எவரி அசெஸி ஆர் என்ன டைம்க்குள்ள ஃபைல் பண்ணனும்? ஓகே மேம், 30th June. In case அந்த ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் ஃபைல் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் அதுல ஏதாவது மிஸ்டேக் இருக்குனா ரெக்டிஃபை பண்ணலாமா? Within 2 years from the end of the financial in which the specified service has been provided or goods or service has been supplied or facilitated as the NMAV. Okay man. Sir, in case நீ அந்த ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் ஃபைல் பண்ண விட்டுட்டேனா assessing officer is having the power to issue what? Notice asking you to furnish the statement equivalent to 142 subsection 1 N1. அப்படி உனக்கு என்ன வந்துச்சுனா எத்தனை நாளைக்குள்ள என்ன பண்ணியாகும்? இப்போ நீ ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் என்ன பண்ணிட்ட? ஃபைல் பண்ண. Every return furnished will be processed under what? என்ன முடிக்கிற? 143 subsection. The same way processing of statement 168. ரிட்டர்ன் எடுத்துட்டு போற அதே மாதிரி எடுத்துட்டு போறாங்க. ஒத்துக்கறே இல்லையா? Yes sir. Manner of processing of statement. Where statement has been made under what section? 167ல நீ என்ன கொடுத்தாச்சுனா? By assessee or யாரு? Such statement shall be processed in the following manner, namely number 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. Angiyum 5 adjustment, ingiyum 5 adjustment. Number 1, the equalization levy shall be computed after making the adjustment for any error. Angi adhe arithmetical error, correct? The interest, if any, shall be computed on the basis of some deductible or payable as the NMAV. Computed in the what? Statement. அப்ப arithmetical error check பண்ணுவாங்க, interest computation check பண்ணுவாங்க. என்ன டிலேயா கட்டியிருக்கியா, டிலேயா டிடக்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கியா இல்லையா, இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வருமா? Sum payable or the amount of refund due to the assessee or e-commerce operator shall be determined after adjustment of interest computed against the equalization levy paid under what section? 166 subsection 2 or 166A or interest paid under 170 of any amount paid otherwise than waived what? அப்போ இத பேஸ் பண்ணி இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் எல்லாம் கால்குலேட் பண்ணிட்டு சம் பேயபிள் ஆர் அமௌண்ட் ரீஃபண்டபிள் கால்குலேட் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஐதர் சம் பேயபிள் ஆர் ஜாஸ்தி கட்டியிருக்க ரீஃபண்ட் எடுத்துக்கோ, கம்மியா கட்டியிருக்க பே பண்ணிரு. An intimation shall be prepared or generated and sent to the யாருக்கு? யாருக்கு? Operator specifying the sum determined to be payable by the amount of refund entered to him. Due to him intimation அனுப்பிச்சு தரும் இவ்வளோ ருபீஸ் நீ டாக்ஸ் கட்ட வேண்டியிருக்கு இல்லை இவ்வளோ ருபீஸ் உனக்கு ரீஃபண்ட் அவைலபிளாக இருக்குது. The amount of refund due to the dash or dash in pursuance of such determination shall be entered to him. Refund இருந்துச்சுன்னா ரீஃபண்ட் கொடுத்துரும். However, no such intimation shall be sent after the expiry of a year from the end of the financial year in which a statement of revised statement is furnished. அங்க அல்ல 2 இயர்ஸ்ல திருத்த வேண்டியது. நான் கேட்கறது 139ல 143 subsection 1 9 months from the end of the financial year in which the return of income has been filed. அது ரிட்டர்ன் இல்லையா? இங்க எவ்வளோ 1 year from the end of the financial year in which the statement or the revised statement is furnished. Right? Prescribed form for service of notice on demand on the assessee or NA commerce operator. Sir, where any levy, interest, penalty is payable under the NA levy provision. A notice of demand in form number 2 specifying the sum so payable shall be served upon the yark or NA commerce operator as the NMA. இந்த இன்டிமேஷன்லாம் முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஏதாவது டாக்ஸ் பேயபிள் வருதுன்னா நோட்டீஸ் அனுப்புவாங்க ஃபார்ம் நம்பர் 2ல. இட்ஸ் லைக் டிமாண்ட் நோட்டீஸ். என்ன நோட்டீஸ்? ஃபார்ம் நம்பர் 2. அங்க 156 டிமாண்ட் நோட்டீஸ். எஸ் சார். இங்க ஃபார்ம் நம்பர் 2. Further intimation issued upon processing of statement or in a statement shall also be deemed to be a notice of demand. உனக்கு இன்டிமேஷன் 5 அட்ஜஸ்ட்மென்ட் பண்ணாங்க இல்லையா? அதுல உனக்கு either tax payable காட்டும்ல, அந்த இன்டிமேஷனுமே நோட்டீஸ் ஆஃப் டிமாண்டா தான் ட்ரீட் பண்ணணும். ஸ்கீம் ஃபார் சென்ட்ரலைஸ் ப்ராசஸிங் ஆஃப் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட். சென்ட்ரலைஸ் ப்ராசஸிங் ஃபேஸ்லெஸ் எல்லாம் எடுத்துட்டு வராங்க. ஃபார் த பர்பஸ் ஆஃப் என்ன ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் CBDT may make a scheme for centralized processing of such statement to expediently determine the tax payable by the refund due or assessee or e-commerce operator as required thereunder. இப்போ நீ 143 ஒண்ணுமே சிபிசி ப்ராசஸிங் தான் நடக்குது. நீ 143 மேல பார்த்தனா சென்ட்ரலைஸ் ப்ராசஸிங் அப்படினு காட்டும். எஸ் சார். இதையும் நாங்க என்ன பண்றோம்னா சென்ட்ரலைஸ் ப்ராசஸிங் பண்றோம். ஒத்துக்கற நீ 169 end of mistake. After you furnish a statement there may be mistake apparent from record மாதிரி there may be mistake கரெக்ட்டா அதை ரெக்டிஃபை பண்ணனும். ரெக்டிஃபிகேஷன் ஆஃப் மிஸ்டேக் நமக்கு 154 ரூட் இருக்கா? எஸ் சார். அதுக்கு ஈக்குவலன்ட் செக்ஷன் தான் 160. டைம் லிமிட் ஃபார் amending an intimation. Sir, with a view to rectify any mistake apparent from record, AO may amend any intimation issued under what section? Such intimation can be amended within from the end of the financial year in which the intimation sought to be amended was issued. இங்க 4 வருஷம்லாம் கிடைக்காது. 1 year. அப்போ இங்க வா சிம்பு படம் மாநாடு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கியா நீ? எஸ் சார். மாநாடுல என்ன காட்டுறாங்கன்னா டைம் லிமிட் காட்டுறாங்க. கரெக்டா? டைம் எப்படி சுத்துதுங்கிறது காட்டுறாங்க. எண்ட் ஆஃப் த ஃபைனான்ஷியல் இயர் இங்கிருந்து எத்தனை நாளைக்குள்ள நீ ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ஃபைல். அப்ப இதுதான் சார் 30th June of the succeeding financial year. கரெக்ட்டா? அப்படி 30th June of the succeeding என்ன இயர்? ஃபைனான்ஷியல் இயர்க்குள்ள நீ என்ன பண்ணேனா ஃபைல் பண்ணேனா குட். ஃபைல் பண்ணேனா உனக்கு நோட்டீஸ் வரும். அந்த நோட்டீஸ் என்ன டைம்க்குள்ள வரணும் அவங்க சொல்லல. ஆனா நோட்டீஸ் வந்தா 30 டேஸ்க்குள்ள நீ ஃபைல் பண்ணணும். ரைட்டா? ரைட். இன் கேஸ் நீ ஒரிஜினலா 30th ஜூன்க்குள்ளே நீ ஃபைல் பண்ணிட்ட இல்ல 30 days from the notice குள்ள ஃபைல் பண்ணிட்ட ஆனா ரா இருக்குன்னு கண்டுபிடிக்கிற. ஓகேவா? அப்படினா என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம்? ரிவைஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அதுக்கான டைம் லிமிட் 2 years from the end of the financial year in which the specified service has been or goods or services supplied by the e-commerce operator. Are you all really with me? Yes sir. Yes sir. சார் வரஜா இப்போ இந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ஐதர் ஒரிஜினலி ஃபைல் பண்ண ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இல்லனா ரிவைஸ்டு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இல்லனா நோட்டீஸ் அனுப்பிச்சு ஃபைல் பண்ண ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ஏதோ ஒன்று அதை ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி ஆகணும் இல்லையா? தட் ப்ராசஸிங் ஆஃப் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ஹலோ சார் within 1 year from the end of the financial year in which the statement has been furnished. கரெக்ட்டா? இப்போ இந்த ப்ராசஸ் பண்ண ஸ்டேட்மென்ட்ல என்ன இருக்க வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு? மிஸ்டேக் apparent from record இருக்க வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. அத திருத்தறதுக்கு டைம் 1 year from the end of the financial year in which the order sought to be revised has been passed. This is the time limit whatever we have discussed till now. மாநாடு ஒத்துக்கறனி? Amendment can be made suo motu or brought to notice by the assessee or yaru. The AO may make an amendment to any intimation either in a motu or any mistake brought to his notice by assessee or an operator. Opportunity of being to be given by AO before amending an intimation. Hello sir. இந்த intimation amend பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி காசியா தேடி போறதுக்கு போறேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லணும் கொடுக்கணும் வா. Amendment to any intimation which has the effect of dash the liability of the assessee or e-commerce operator or dash a refund shall not be made unless the AO has given notice to the assessee or e-commerce operator of his intention so to do and has given the assessee or e-commerce operator a reasonable opportunity of. After we learned the assessment, this will be a cakewalk. Hello?
Yes, sir.
When I am explaining this thing first, either I would have died or you would have died. Where any such amendment to any intimation has been effect of dash the sum payable or reduce the refund already made, AO shall make an order specifying the N payable or e-commerce operator and provision of this chapter shall apply accordingly. Now 170 interest on delayed payment. Every month 7th kulla pay பண்ணி ஆகணும். An assessee or an operator who failed to credit equalization levy or any part thereof within the period specified in what to the account of the central government has to pay simple interest at the rate of 1% for every month or end of the month. TDS மாதிரி தான் 1% per month or by such crediting of tax or any part thereof is delayed. ஒத்துக்கிறியா நீ? I'm coming to penalty for failure to deduct or pay equalization levy. TDS க்கு penalty இருக்கு. 271C and 271CA correcta? TDS க்கு 271C the amount of TDS. TCS க்கு amount of TCS. ஒத்துக்கிறியா நீ? இதான் சார் உனக்கான penalty. Failure to deduct whole or part of equalization levy under what section? 166 ல எந்த செக்ஷன்? அதான் எந்த செக்ஷன்? அப்போ 165 ல சொன்ன 6% என்ன பிடிக்கல? In addition to payment of equalization levy under 166 subsection 3 already சொல்லிட்டோம். நீ பிடிக்கலனாலும் ஓன் பாக்கெட்ல இருந்தா எடுத்து கட்டணும். And interest under section what? அப்போ 166 subsection 3 ல ஓன் பாக்கெட்ல இருந்து எடுத்து கட்டணும். plus 170 ல interest கட்டணும். Penalty equal to the amount of equalization levy if failed to deduct would be leviable. Similar amount அதே 6% 171 ல என்னவாவும் கட்டணும்? penalty ஆவும் கட்டணும். அப்போ ஒழுங்கு மரியாதையை பிடிச்சிரு. இல்ல சார் equalization levy ஒரு வாட்டி interest then என்ன also penalty. Failure to pay whole or part of equalization levy as required under what? 166A. 166A எந்த செக்ஷன் கவர்? 165 அதுல சொன்னது இல்ல. in addition to equalization levy under what? plus interest under what? penalty equal to the amount of equalization levy that he failed to pay is leviable. ஒத்துக்கிறியா? failure to remit என்ன levy? அப்ப நீ டிடக்ட் பண்ணிருக்க ஆனா என்னதான் பண்ணல? பே பண்ணல. to the credit of என்ன government? central government on or before 7th of the following month after deduction of same under what? 165 subsection 1. 165 in addition to paying the equalization levy of NSR specified service under what section? 166 subsection 2 and interest under what section? A penalty of how much for each day? இது புடிச்சிட்டு கட்டாம இருந்தா புடிக்காம இருந்தா equal to புரியுதா இல்லையா? புடிக்காம இருந்தேனா அந்த 6% பாக்கெட்ல இருந்து கட்டணும் plus interest 170 பதிலா கட்டணும். penalty equal to amount as per section 171 பதிலா கட்டணும். சார் நான் புடிச்சேன் சார் ஆனா 7th குள்ள கட்டல சார். ஒரு நாளைக்கு 1000 சார் during which the failure continues is leviable. However such penalty shall not exceed the amount of equalization levy that he failed to pay. கண்டிப்பா அந்த amount of என்ன சார் equalization levy விட exceed ஆக 172. penalty for failure to furnish the what? statement எப்ப furnish பண்ணனும்? 30 June இல்ல notice வந்துட்டு 30 days குள்ள அந்த நீ furnish பண்ணலனா for failure to furnish a statement within 30th June of immediately following year or within from the date of service of notice by யாரு? penalty of எத்தனை per day during which the failure continues is leviable. ஒத்துக்கிறியா? 173 circumstance when penalty cannot be imposed under what and what? 171 லயும் 172 லயும் என்ன levy பண்ணக்கூடாது? no failure for no penalty for failure to deduct or pay what levy or to furnish statement shall be impossible if the assessee or an operator proves to the satisfaction of AO that there was any cost. காரணம் இருக்கறனால தான் நான் பே பண்ணல. Sir further no order imposing a penalty under this chapter shall be made unless the assessee or e-commerce operator has given an opportunity of paying. So what are the section reference we have done till now? Number 1 165 is for specified services. Then 165A is for e-commerce operator. E-commerce supply or goods, whatever it may be. Next one. 166 is the collection and recovery for 165. 166A is the collection and recovery for 165A, right? Next one, 167, furnishing of statement. This furnishing of statement, hello sir, furnishing of statement is for both. ரெண்டுக்குமே applicable சொல்றேன், காமன் சொல்றேன் நான். 165 க்கு applicable, இனி சொல்றது எல்லாமே அப்படிதான். Next one, 168, processing of statement, right? Then 169, rectification of statement, mistake of the statement, right? 170, sorry, 170, interest. 171, penalty for failure to deduct or pay. 172, penalty for non furnishing the statement. Correct? இப்ப அங்க தான் நிக்கிறோம் இல்லையா? 173, penalty under 171 and 172 not applicable. 171, 172 is not. You have to help me. I'm going to fill it. This is the way we have started. 165, 165A, 166 and 166A. These are the applicability or charging sections. This is collection and recovery. 167, furnishing of statement. What is the time limit? 30th of June. Once you get the notice, within 30 days of the succeeding financial year. Is there any time limit for furnishing of statement? Revised statement. For revising the statement, 2 years from the end of the financial year in which the specified services are supplied or e-commerce supply is provided. Then, is there any other time limit included there? You have to check the book and say, I'm consolidating. Any other time limit? Response to notice within 30 days. That's 30 June or notice in 30 days. LGH, notice 30 days. Notice 30 days, we statement file. All of the sir. All the thing has been consolidated. 168, processing of statement. What is the time limit? 1 year from the end of the financial year in which the statement is filed. In the statement is furnished. Okay, wow. Alright. 169, revision of statement. If you are having raw, you can revise. Epo. 1 year from the end of the year, financial year, in which the order, that is statement sought to be revised, has been passed, filed. Statement sought to be revised has been filed. Appreciate Pandriya. Interest, etra percent? 1% per month or part of the month. 171, penalty for failure to deduct or pay. Need deduct panale. Evlo? Amount equal to equalization levy. ரெண்டுலயுமே அதான் இல்லையா? 165 ஆ இருந்தாலும் அதான், 165A ஆ இருந்தாலும் அதான். அப்ப ரெண்டு காமனா எழுதுனா போதும் இல்லையா? Amount equal to equalization levy. Correct? Next one. 172, penalty for non. எதுக்கு? ஆமா, லேட் டிடக்ட் பண்ணி ரெமிட் பண்ணல. இது வந்து நான் டிடக்ஷன் போடலாமா? ஓகே மேன். இது வந்து டிடக்டட் நாட் பெய்டு. எவ்வளவு per day? 1000 per day. Next one. This is only for what? 165 and not for 165A. Right, super. Next one. Penalty for non furnishing the statement. 100 per day, subject to equalization levy. 100 per day, but it should not exceed equalization levy. Yeah. Correct? Yes, sir. புரியல. எதுல அப்படி கொடுக்கல? Okay. இது அப்போ ஃபுல்லாக வரதுக்கு இருக்கு. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் எத்தனை பர் டே? 100 per day. ஸோ 1000 we have to write it as 1000 per day subject to maximum of equalization levy. 173 penalty under section what and what? 171 and 172 are not applicable. Reasonable cost has been shown to the architect. Satisfaction of the AO. Right? இப்போ நீ என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன்னா இங்க பாரு, equalization levy deduct பண்ணிட்ட. equalization levy deduct பண்ணிட்ட. equalization levy deduct பண்ணி statement file பண்ணிட்ட. அந்த statement process ஆயிடுச்சு. கரெக்டா? அந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் என்ன ஆகி ப்ராசஸ் ஆகி உனக்கு இன்டிமேஷன் வந்துச்சு. கரெக்டா? உனக்கு ஐதர் இன்டிமேஷன் வரும் இல்ல நோட்டீஸ் ஆஃப் டிமாண்ட் வரும். இன் ஃபார்ம் நம்பர் 2. Now you are not happy with the processing of the statement. You can go to the CIT appeal or Joint Commissioner appeal. Same like 246 subsection 1 or NIA. That's what appeal to Commissioner of Income Tax appeal. CIT appeal கிட்ட போலாமா? Yes sir. Appeal to appellate tribunal. ITAT கிட்ட போலாமா அடுத்தது? Yes sir. Punishment for என்ன statement? False statement. நீ தப்பா கொடுத்தா institution of what? Prosecution. உன பிடிச்சி ஜெயில போடுவேனா? Application of certain provisions of the Act, Income Tax Act. இதுக்காக 119 income instruction to என்ன body? 120 131 summons 133A 138 disclosure of information 156 sir chapter 15 liability in any cases 220 to 227 everything will be applicable. 229 recovery of penalty, fine, interest and other sum. 232 recovery by suit or NSR other law affected. 260A 261 262 265 to 269 tax to be paid notwithstanding reference to all those stuffs. 278B offenses by what? Company. 280A in a code, special code. 280B offense trialable by what? 280 subsection 280C trial of offense as what? Summons case. 280D appeal of NSR application of code of criminal procedure. 282 service of what? Notice generally. 288 to 293 all these powers. So power to make what? Rules sir. 180 power to remove what? Difficulty relevant provisions sir. 9 subsection 1 N1 class 1 they have explained. Hello sir. Then 10 subsection 50 in the hands of the non-resident. There is second part. 40A subsection 1B connected provision. 194O TDS provision. Hello sir. And they have summarized the summary of provisions relating to TDS on e-commerce transaction. So which we can say that we have done with the first part of the equalization levy. According to me, this itself is more than enough for your examination from the chapter of what? Still tomorrow we'll be doing the second part, balance part. There is no doubt about it. But what I am saying is this is more than enough for your examination point of view. The remaining எல்லாமே appeal, revision அப்படியே என்ன சார் எப்படி நம்ம இன்கம் டாக்ஸ் ஆக்ட தள்ளிட்டு போகணுமோ அதே மாதிரி ஈக்குவலைசேஷன் லெவியை கடைசி வரைக்கும் நம்ம தள்ளிட்டு போகணும். ஓகேவா? ஏன்னா நீ ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ஃபைல் பண்ண ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் என்ன சார் ப்ராசஸ் ஆச்சு, ப்ராசஸ் ஆகி உனக்கு இன்டிமேஷன் வந்துச்சு, உனக்கு பிடிக்கலனா நீ அப்பீல் போலாம், எல்லாமே பண்ணலாம். So those items will be talking sir from that, and they have given a beautiful chart also. We'll be discussing that also at the end. This is the one line summary. இது போதும். So this chart is more than enough. We will be doing. So tomorrow also we'll be spending our time with the equalization levy, my dear lovable students. Hello sir. So have a revision of the equalization levy. Important, very important, very important for examination. Will be coming for 5 mark in exam. So tomorrow we'll be taking one more day to complete the equalization levy. Then we will move into the BEPS 1 action plan number 1. Clarity? Those who are following in the online, if you are enjoying the classes, enjoying the revision, update your happiness. We'll meet at the appropriate time. Till that, thank you. Bye bye from ANM.